selected 6 pilot schools in Houston to start our programming in, and we had 24 elementary 4th grade classrooms that we worked in every month. And when I say we, it's kind of the royal we here, but I recruited 24 chef friends who volunteered to help me, and I was running around every month prepping and giving and cleaning up from and planning and preparing and following up on 24 different cooking classes with 24 different groups of kids.
It's a really great opportunity for children to, number one, really learn about, obviously, seed to plate, gardening, cooking, healthy eating, healthy living, and also it's hands-on learning, which I think is so important. And so I think that it really gives children an opportunity to experience something they're not used to during the day also, because school has become very testing oriented and very lecture oriented, and this really gives them an opportunity to use their hands and their brains a little bit differently.
I knew that kids who really understood food and had access to real food would eat that food. And I love teaching people how to cook, and teaching my own children and my grandchildren how to cook is a joy. So I knew I had that tool in my belt, and I was particularly motivated by coming across separate data that said that kids who knew how to cook made better eating decisions, and kids who understood gardening or where their food came from, that whole growing and harvesting of food, ate better. And I thought, imagine the power if we put those two together.
I like the gardening component of this program because the kids can go outside, they can use their hands, they're connecting with the earth, they're getting a little bit of sunshine in their day. Not all schools allow recess, and so they are in an outdoor classroom, getting to use their body as they learn. I think that kinesthetic, tactile learning is really important to a child's development. It's also an important skill for kids to know how to grow food. That's a skill that they will have for the rest of their lives.
I'm active in policy in the sense that I'm personally involved in trying to get city, state, and federal lawmakers to pay attention to the things that we think are important. But the fact is, since that very beginning, 10 years ago, when I met with Susan Combs, and she eventually made some guideline rules, which were very progressive in the country, in Texas, about school lunch. Since then, I've grown Recipe for Success to serve over 30,000 children and more, and we're just now facing a reversal of that policy in Texas. So thank goodness I didn't just focus on policy, because that's 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. With our program directly working with the kids and their families, we can keep expanding and expanding and expanding both the appreciation and the empowerment for people to live healthier lives.
The Recipe for Success curriculum is for pre-K through 5th grade. So elementary school age, preschool, so early childhood. That's the aim right now. And I think they're actually looking to expand into middle schools and maybe potentially high schools, but really the goal is to get the younger age.
Data says that before age 11, you can actually contribute to the formation of attitudes and habits. After age 11, you are trying to change them.
The first step, what they do when they come in, is they wash their hands. We emphasize safety, food safety as much as possible. They wash their hands, they put on their aprons, and then they go to their carts. They all have designated carts, so they are working on team building throughout the year. They come in, they learn a little bit about the country that we are learning about and the cuisine. And then we get right into the recipe. We always say a phrase. What do we say before we eat? Bon appetit. Every class. They cannot eat until those words have been said, and then they dig in.
What do we say before we eat? Bon appetit!
Seed to Plate Nutrition Education Program is something that is really the centerpiece of the work of Recipe for Success and the first of the many initiatives we launched. The idea is, data says that kids who cook make better eating decisions, kids who garden eat better, and so we combine the two to make an integrated program, Seed to Plate. During the course of the year, children learn the entire cycle of food, plant the carrot seed, grow it, harvest the carrot, bring the carrot into their classroom, together with their class, make carrot soup, and then sit down together and enjoy that soup. And along the way, they're learning so many things beyond the nutrition information, but that helps the nutritional message get through.
There's definitely cooking programs out there. There's definitely gardening programs out there. I don't think it's as developed and as well organized as Recipe for Success, but this one really brings both together. So the requirements is that it's 50% cooking, 50% gardening. So you're really getting the Seed to Plate experience, and the kids are really learning where their food's coming from and really being able to connect to their food, which is very important.
The feedback for our programming has been phenomenal. We get a little pushback from the beginning from teachers who don't understand what the whole program looks like, because they think, oh, just something else in our day that we have to deal with. But one of the things that we did in the very initial design of the program is all of our classes in both the garden and the culinary classroom, which are integrated, are also aligned with both TEKS and Common Core. And so you might have a Greek salad class, but be learning math, science, geography. We tie every single class back to core curricular objectives so that it actually supports what the teacher is doing in the classroom rather than detracting from it. The prescribed number of fruits and vegetables, the minimum that the health experts tell us that we should be eating every day, is 5. It's kind of an old number, but they stick with it. It's really 9, but let's just say it should be between 5 and 9 servings of fresh fruits and vegetables a day. And most children are getting 1.5 veg, and that 1 is always French fries. The predominant vegetable children consume is French fries. So we're trying to add color to their plate and to their list of things that they love.
For 6 years, I worked in a pediatric emergency room, and I was a child life specialist, it's called, which is the psychosocial aspect of medicine. So really working with the children, explaining what's going on in their body when they've been diagnosed with cancer, with cystic fibrosis, with diabetes. So that's tertiary prevention, it's called, which is really the treatment of disease, and seeing kids going through a lot of different diseases and illnesses. And so my goal now and my sort of passion from that experience is getting them at preventative care, which is that primary prevention. so that the kids don't have to end up in the emergency room being diagnosed with these diseases that are really, a lot of them are a direct result from obesity.
All I ask of you and of anyone is to consider what you eat and make every eating decision a mindful decision. And if we all live our life that way, we'll be a lot healthier. We'll make good decisions, much better decisions all the way around. And I'm not saying that we will all stop eating hamburgers. We won't. I wouldn't expect that. I haven't stopped eating them. I haven't stopped eating French fries. But I know when I eat them, it's a mindful thing. I know, okay, then I probably shouldn't eat them 2 more times in the day or even 2 more times in the week. Mindful eating and returning the enjoyment of fresh, whole food to the top of our food chain instead of at the bottom. It needs to be the way we roll. Then I'll be happy. Then I'll be out of business. I can go to Paris.